Hey Anjali, welcome to my YouTube channel. So excited to have you here. This is the video that we are going to talk about is actually one of the most requested videos on the channel. I'll not give away what it is. Before we start doing the live demos, can you tell the audience who you are, what you do, and the topic of today's session?
Sure, I would love to, and I'm more than delighted to be here to share with you all how you can embed LWC in CRM Analytics dashboard. Before that, a little about me. So, hello everyone, I'm Anjali Patel. Currently I work with Salesforce as CRM Analytics Lead Solution Engineer. I've been with Salesforce almost 2 years now. However, prior to that, I was a customer. I worked with Verizon for 14 years and US Bank for 2 years, and where I actually have experience of implementing what we used to call Wave and Einstein Analytics, TCRM, and now CRM Analytics. So glad to be here and so glad to show you the magic of LWC. Thank you, everyone.
Um, Amazing. So you've seen the entire life cycle of Wave Analytics to Einstein Analytics to now CRM Analytics, and now we are talking about how we can embed LWCs inside CRM Analytics.
That's correct.
All right. I am super excited. The floor is all yours, Anjali. Uh, you can start the demo or however you want to proceed.
Sure. So what we're going to do today, I'm going to first show you just the
Mhm.
little demo of how the LWC work when it is embedded in CRM Analytics dashboard, and then we'll get into how. So let's start. I'm going to start sharing my screen. So right now, what you're looking at is a pipeline dashboard, which is the CRM Analytics dashboard embedded in Lightning page in the Sales Cloud.
Hmm.
Um, I, as a sales rep or sales manager, can see how what is all my pipeline related answers. How am I doing for to win these deals, and basically how is my entire pipeline looks like. But one of
Right.
the great things that I love to do is, I want to be able to take actions right from the dashboards, which we all
Hmm.
know CRM Analytics can do very well. But in addition to do that, I also want to be able to update opportunities right from this dashboard and being able to see that update live. And that's when we'll use LWC, where we can
Mhm.
have live inline editing, or on the left-hand side where you see the customer 360, this is actually a Tableau Wiz embedded in CRM Analytics dashboard using LWC as well. So
That
if
is
I were to,
fantastic.
thank you. Is there any question before I proceed?
So just to clarify, the opportunity details table that we are seeing is an LWC component where if I'm a user, if I'm a sales rep, I can do inline editing for these opportunities right there, and it updates the actual Salesforce records. And to my left is a data visualization that is not inside Salesforce. It's part of Tableau, but is now inside this entire dashboard ecosystem that is on my homepage. Is that correct?
That is correctly. That is correct and very well said.
Awesome. That is fantastic.
So now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to focus on one account. As we can see, the entire dashboard is updated only to show me the pipeline for that account. You can also see that Tableau Wiz is only showing where that account is located and the
Hmm.
further details coming from Tableau Wiz. And then now, let's just say maybe I just want to focus on my all the opportunities that are in the discovery phase or the discovery stage. So as soon as I click on it, we can now see that I only have 2 opportunities for this account in this stage. At this point, if I want to update more than one opportunity or more than one field, I can just do it right from here, where let's say I'm going to change this to 2023 this year, and I'm going to change, we'll just make this amount of 50,000. And maybe we'll also change the stage of this opportunity. I know it needs to be set to negotiation stage, so we're going to do that. And as soon as I click on it, all of these updates will now be written not just to the object, but we can see that right here. that they're updated. Cool. Now we're gonna go back and to take a look at it, how this is being done. Um, is there any question? Are we good with what we
No
just saw?
question. I'm actually very excited. I think what was great about that was you were making changes on the CRM analytics dashboard, and it was seamlessly filtering the widget that is embedded from Tableau, which I think is extremely powerful.
It is extremely powerful, and I have seen a lot of customers use it, especially when they have both Tableau and CRM Analytics. And
Mhm.
great thing about Tableau, you can have a lot of the external data sources, even or also for those users who do not have Salesforce licenses, have that inside. But if those insight that's in Tableau and needs to be seen by your sales rep in Salesforce, this is the great way to embed and make it available within the work of your flow in Salesforce.
Awesome.
Okay, so now what we're going to show, so we saw the demo on how LWC can be embedded in CRM Analytics and in any of your Salesforce Lightning pages. I'm now going to show you some of the documentation behind it, and especially how you can deploy LWC code that can be then used by CRM Analytics dashboard. We'll start with as you all know, Salesforce, we have really great documentation for any of the topics that you would like to explore or try it on your own. So we're going to start with this developer Salesforce page, which is a great reference. This is how I started as well, where you can see how LWC works with CRM Analytics. And so we will share this link within the video when you take, if you do need to take a look at it and deep dive into this further for any of these different custom charts that are currently not available in CRM Analytics. Now, as you can see, most of these codes for LWC to embed LWC has actually already are written and available for you through GitHub. And I already have that open, so I'm going to show you. This is really great because these codes are written by one of our developers as well, to make it available for you. And once you download this GitHub repository, it will be downloaded if you are using Windows machine or for MacBook. It will be downloaded basically on your MacBook or your Windows computer. Then you can customize it for your need. So once you download the code from here, which is, you can just go here and start downloading the zip file, which will be downloaded on your machine. Once you download that, I'm going to show you what are only little changes you have um, to make it work for your need. Again, we'll share these links as well, so you have it available and you don't have to look for these links. This another GitHub link. So the first one I showed you, these are all for the different custom charts that we saw here. That's the GitHub repository for all the custom charts. And the second one that I'm showing you is for inline editing data table that we're going to embed in our CRM Analytics dashboard. So once you download this, as you through the zip file and open it, it would look like this on your machine. So I already have it open in my Visual Studio Code. So I'm going to quickly show you how that looks like once you start working on it. So these are the three different files for inline editing, the three main files that are part of Lightning Web Component. You need to have a HTML. This really basically defines where you would like to see your Lightning Web Component. So as you can see here, in all the metadata about the LWC, we'll get into the JavaScript file in a little bit, and I'm going to also talk about, again, metadata. As you can see, all of this code is already written for you. The only thing that I had to update here is that what is the target? Where am I going to use, display, and work with this LWC component? So here, when it says targets is analytics dashboard, that means I can have embed this LWC in my CRM Analytics dashboard.
God. And Anjali, just a question. If I was the audience here, is when I open this file, do they have to enter that entire tag which says target config targets analytics dashboard, or is that tag already in there? I just need to fill that out. Analytics dashboard.
You just have to change this. Most of the time, most of the by default, which actually I can show you quickly the difference between the code that is already on the GitHub. So let's take a
Mm-hmm.
look at this one. When you take a look at it here, as you can see, there are 3 different targets here.
Got it.
I
Okay.
deleted 2, and I just said that I don't want to see this component by itself in the Lightning app page or the record page or home page. You can have more than 1 targets, but I just wanted to make it available for the CRM Analytics dashboard, and that's exactly
Got it.
what we.
Makes sense. Thank you so much for clarifying that.
And one of the most important thing that you do need to remember that the way when I showed you in the beginning, when I clicked on the first chart and the table below updated automatically in the dashboard, to make that happen, you need to make sure that this property is set to true. So these are the 2 main important things that you need to make sure that you either change it or make sure that they are there in your JavaScript meta XML file. So basically, you're
Okay.
only defining where you would see that component.
Awesome. So just to recap, use the GitHub, download it. Once you download it, you see this file. Uh, Second step, go and update the target config targets as analytics dashboard, hash step equal to true.
Correct.
Awesome.
Again, we
That
already
seems
talked
easy.
about the HTML. I think a lot of you know what HTML does. So now, there are only a couple of the changes that have been done here. And we will also share the documentation for this code of which changes were done and why. So we'll get into that detail via documentation. And now I'm going to show you the JavaScript, where there is little more changes that you have to do to make it available your uh, for your need. For example, what you're looking at it right now, again, this is entire and same code that you would get it from the GitHub, but I'm going to just quickly walk you through some of the changes that we did for my LWC or for the demo you saw. So in the LWC I showed you, I wanted to make it work for with opportunity data. And I also want to make sure that I have, wherever you see the field name, I wanted to make sure that it is using the correct API field name that's coming from opportunity object in my Salesforce org that I'm going to connect to. So those are some of the changes that I had to do. The label can be anything, as we all know, but make sure that you have a correct API name and all the fields that I'm going to, again, go back here. What all the fields that you want to make sure that are editable or that you want to display in this Lightning inline editing data table, you want to make sure all of these fields are included in these columns with the right API names. So those are some of the changes that I have done here. Wherever you see field name is the API name coming from my org, my object, my opportunity object. And only other changes we did in the original GitHub code was to map it to my result. So this basically I want to make sure that each of the opportunity IDs match by the IDs that I have in my org. And one more thing that was really important, that was for the Tableau is, but to make the update, you just need the right API field name and make sure that they match with your IDs.
Got it.
And additional detail will be in the documentation.
Okay.
So once you make sure, you will see if there's any error, you will see a little flag here. Currently, we can see there are no errors. At this point, all you need to do, and again, I don't know if I mentioned that earlier. I'm using Visual Studio, to interact with Salesforce, with the Salesforce CLI command line interface that I already have it downloaded. That first documentation that I showed you for the Salesforce developer page has everything, has all the steps written down for you, so it wouldn't be hard for you to get where I am. Once you are done making changes through three main files, again, there are three main files with LWC, which is HTML, JavaScript, where most of your coding, a JavaScript file on how your component is going to interact, and metadata, where you're going to embed or deploy this LWC component. So these are the main three files. When we went over these files, everything looks good. First thing you will do is you want to make sure that you are going to authorize to your org. Once you authorize it, you can just, so let's do that together. I'm going to select production because I'm going to use via login.salesforce.com. I'm going to enter my alias for my org. And as soon as I do that, I will now be prompted to log into that org. And once you enter your login, you will be logged in um, and be able to run any of the command that you need right from here. So now I'm already connected to this org. I'm going to cancel because I've already connected. Um, and as soon as once you are connected to your Salesforce org where you're going to deploy this LWC, you can just deploy using either of these commands that come up when you click on the when you use your right click, or you can start typing again here. So and so this is how you will deploy it. Again, I want to make sure that when we share this documentation with you, uh, the GitHub and the developer sales org has all of the steps that I just mentioned on how you can authorize and how you can deploy this org, so it will be then available in your Salesforce org or deployed in your org.
Fantastic. So I was just taking notes. So one thing that I'll do is all the links that you pointed to, I'll add that to the description of the video so people know how to uh, get to the links. I'll also put them in a specific order so they know this is the first link, then go to the GitHub link and so on. So we'll make sure that those links are followed. But very high level, you use Visual Studio,
Mhm.
where which also had Salesforce CLI and all the packages installed. GitHub is where the code is. So if I am starting off, I can download it. Once I download it and I open that file using Visual Studio, I'll update the config file, which is the metadata XML file, where we say that, okay, this component, I want to make it available to the analytics dashboard. So you're only saying target config equal to analytics dashboard and hash step equal to true, which is, by the way, part of this documentation. And the
Correct.
third thing that you did was updated the HTML, which makes sense because you may want to display custom fields or things like that. So you're just making sure that the API names match exactly, and the IDs match as well. And once you do that, all you're doing is deploying it to the org. And for people who are comfortable with CLI, they can type the command directly in Visual Studio. For people like me who prefer shortcuts, we can always right click and say deploy source to org, and it will do the exact same thing.
Yep.
Awesome.
That was a perfect summary. So now we saw, how in the back end, and now I'm going to show you once your LWC is deployed, how would you add that in the CRM Analytics dashboard? So I'm going to go to the dashboard here, where I have just created one chart, using my data set, where it's just showing the opportunity ID. And I've already added the LWC, but to add it, I'm just going to quickly show you again. You're going to drag the component widget in the CRM Analytics dashboard. And once you do that, once you click on the component, you're not, instead of using the dashboard components, we're going to use Lightning components, and these
Mm.
are all the different custom charts that I have available uh, through the LWC that I deployed. I have done both that I showed you, the custom charts and inline editing, as well as the Tableau Wiz. In fact, I have deployed 3 different LWCs. But the first one I showed you, custom charts, you will literally see all these different charts and you can start working with them just like you would do with other widgets or the type of the charts you have access to in CRM Analytics. And in this case, I'm going to uh, click this one, which is my inline editing LWC name, display opportunity results table. So I'm going to click on done. And remember, we did that has step through. So it's saying that how is this step is going to connect to your existing data set in CRM Analytics. So I'm going to just use and make sure that I use the existing query, which is the one that we saw on the top, just the group by IDs. And now you can see that I just was able to add inline editing data table, which is deployed using LWC in CRM Analytics dashboard.
Fantastic.
Is
This
there
is
any
great.
questions? Last minute thought? I want to make sure that we covered everything.
No questions. This was really really good.
Okay,
Covered
cool.
it covered everything. From how to get started, from what changes I need to make in the config files in Visual Studio, how do you deploy it, how do you make it available in dashboards. So it covered really everything. I think the next thing that me as well as other viewers of this video will do is absolutely follow these steps and start using LWC in their CRMA environments.
Cool. Sounds great. I will be happy to see all the work you all or how we can be helpful in your journey. So thank you so much,
All right.
everyone.
Fantastic. So there's a tradition on the channel whenever some guest comes in, since we are talking about Lightning web components, we also like to do Lightning round so that the audience gets to know a little better about who the guest is. So these are fun questions, but you don't get enough time to think. Okay, are you ready? All
Sure.
right. So okay. So are you a beach person or a mountain person?
Mountain.
Okay. Texting or calling?
Oh, goodness, calling. Texting is overrated.
All right. Chai or coffee?
Oh, that's tricky because I love both. Can I say both?
Okay. You can, yeah. Desserts or spicy food?
Being Indian authenticate, I have to say spicy.
Spicy. Awesome. And the final question is, will you be back on this channel? Did you have fun?
I would love to, yes. Yes, I
Awesome.
would love
That
to be
is
there for our community.
fantastic. I really, really had a lot of fun talking to you. I know we've spoken before, but this was amazing to just see how LWC can be made part of Salesforce and how easy it is to be honest, even for someone who does not know LWC, just 5 steps and they can start embedding LWC inside Salesforce. So I'm glad you could join us and you could show us how to do that inside Salesforce.
Thank you so much for having me, and please have fun working with LWC and make the magic, more and more with LWC magic. That's what I say. It's a lot of fun.
Awesome.
Thank
It
you.
is. It is. Thank you.